Let's be honest. Have you ever stood in a German train station, looked at the departure board, and felt just a little bit overwhelmed? Well, today we're going to fix that. We're taking a simple list of German verbs and turning it into your go-to guide for navigating the entire German railway system like a pro, from booking the ticket right from your couch to stepping off at your final stop.
So, are you ready to feel totally confident on your next trip? Good. Let's dive right in.
We're going to break this down just like a real trip. First, we'll cover planning. Then, what happens at the platform. After that, we'll talk about the journey itself. And finally, we'll get into connections and arrivals. Simple as that.
Okay, first things first. Every great train adventure starts long before you ever set foot in the station. It all begins right at home, with the planning.
It's really just a simple 1, 2, 3 process. First, you planen, you plan your trip. Then you buchen, which is to book your ticket. And if you want to be sure you get a good seat, you reservieren it.
Now, out of those three, buchen is absolutely the most important one to know at this stage. It's the action word. Whether you're on a website or using an app on your phone, this is the button you're looking for to actually buy your ticket.
And you will see this exact kind of phrase all over the place. Ich buche ein Ticket online. It just means I'm booking a ticket online. Super simple, super direct, and it's the key that starts your whole journey.
All right, you've got your ticket, your bags are packed, now we're heading to the station. This is where it all starts to feel real, right? You're there on that bustling German platform, and the action is about to begin.
So what's the first thing you're probably going to do when you get to the platform? You're going to warten. You're going to wait. You might be thinking to yourself, Ich warte auf den Zug. I'm waiting for the train. It's that little bit of calm before the train arrives.
And then you hear it. The train starts to einfahren, or pull into the station. An announcement might come over the loudspeakers saying, Der Zug fährt auf Gleis 3 ein, which just means the train is arriving on platform 3.
Okay, pay attention here, because these two verbs are like the bookends of your time on the platform. First, you have to einsteigen. You have to get on the train. And then, just a few moments later, the train is going to abfahren, or depart. The order is absolutely critical.
I promise you, you will hear this. Bitte einsteigen. It's that official call to board, maybe with a little whistle. When you hear that, that's your signal. Time to get on, find your seat, because those doors are about to close.
Okay, we made it. We're on the train, the doors have shut, and we're moving. Now our focus shifts to the words you'll need while you're actually cruising from one place to the next.
So the most basic, most fundamental verb for any kind of travel is fahren. It just means to go or to travel. If you say wir fahren nach Berlin, everyone knows exactly what you mean. We are traveling to Berlin. It's the heart of the journey itself.
Sooner or later, you'll see the conductor making their way through the carriage to kontrollieren the tickets. You'll hear them coming, asking for your Fahrkarte, and they'll check your paper ticket or scan the code on your phone.
Now, this is a great way to understand the different types of trains. You think a local train, a Regionalbahn, will halten, it'll stop at almost every little station. But a high-speed ICE train, it's going to durchfahren. It'll just fly right through those smaller stations without stopping at all. Knowing what your train does is pretty important.
All right, we're getting close to our destination. We're on the final stretch. This last part is all about arriving, getting off the train, and, dealing with what happens if things don't go perfectly to plan.
And just like when we boarded, we have another really important sequence here. The order is everything. First, the train has to ankommen. It has to actually arrive at the station. And only then can you aussteigen, which is to get off. Makes sense, right?
Ah, the moment of truth. You look up at the information board. What you hope to see next to your train is the beautiful word pünktlich, on time. But if your train has to sich verspäten, or be delayed, you're going to see the word verspätet.
So what's the worst-case scenario when your train is late? Well, you might verpassen your connection. Hat den Zug verpasst means he missed the train. It is the traveler's nightmare for sure, but it's a super useful verb to have in your back pocket.
Now, if your trip isn't a straight shot, you're going to have to umsteigen, which simply means to change trains. It's really common to say something like, Ich muss in Frankfurt umsteigen. I have to change trains in Frankfurt.
So, if we boil this all down, you can pretty much tell the story of any train trip with just these 5 key verbs. You buchen, your ticket. You einsteigen, on the train. You fahren, to your destination. You ankommen, at the station. And sometimes you have to umsteigen. That's the core of it right there.
So, there you have it. With these words, you're not just a tourist anymore. You're an active participant.
You have the linguistic tools to make the journey your own. So the only real question left is, where are you going to go first?